Most BMW owners are walking around with a ticking time bomb under their hood, and they don't even know it. Turbo engines are incredible. They're powerful, efficient, and when they're running right, there's nothing like them. But they are also brutally unforgiving when you get the maintenance wrong. And the scary part? Most of what's killing your BMW turbo engine right now isn't dramatic. It's not a blown gasket or a snap timing chain. It's the small stuff, the daily habits, the shortcuts. And by the time you notice something is wrong, you're already looking at a 5-figure repair bill. I've been driving BMWs for over a decade. I've made the mistakes. I've paid the price. And then I've figured it out. This is everything I know about keeping a BMW turbo engine alive past 300,000 miles without major repairs. Welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, we talk about everything BMW. How to own one smart, maintain it right, and avoid the expensive mistakes that catch most owners off guard. Make sure you subscribe, because what I'm sharing today took me years and a lot of money to learn. And I'm giving it to you in the next few minutes for free. The turbo oil feed line. Let's start with something almost nobody talks about. Your turbocharger has a dedicated oil feed line, a small braided line that runs from your engine's oil supply directly to the turbo bearing. That bearing is what keeps your turbo spinning smoothly at up to 200,000 RPM. Here's the problem. That oil feed line is small, and over time, carbon deposits and oil residue build up inside it, slowly restricting flow. You won't feel it happening. Your car won't throw a code. But your turbo bearing is slowly getting starved of oil. And a starved turbo bearing doesn't fail dramatically. It wears gradually until one day your turbo starts whining, then surging. Then it's done. On my BMW, I inspect and flush the turbo oil feed line every 60,000 miles. It takes about an hour if you're doing it yourself, and I pair it with a fresh turbo oil return line inspection at the same time, because that return line is where oil drains back out of the turbo. If it gets partially blocked, oil backs up inside the turbo housing and you get the same result: bearing failure. This service alone is something 95% of BMW owners never do. And it's one of the main reasons turbos fail on otherwise well-maintained cars. The cold start damage window. Here's something I learned the hard way. There is a window of time every single morning where your turbo is the most vulnerable it will ever be. I call it the cold start damage window. And most BMW owners drive right through it without even knowing it. When your engine is cold, oil has settled into the pan overnight. The turbo bearing has zero lubrication on it. The moment you start the engine, oil pressure builds. But it takes 3 to 5 seconds for full oil pressure to reach the turbo. Those 3 to 5 seconds, your turbo is spinning on nothing. Now, here's where it gets worse. Most people start their BMW and within 30 seconds, they're backing out of the driveway and accelerating. The turbo is already spinning up under load before it even has proper lubrication. The fix sounds simple, but requires discipline. After starting the car, let it sit for 60 seconds before moving. Not just idling while you put on your seatbelt. Actually sit still for a full minute. Oil pressure is building. Lines are filling. The turbo bearing is getting coated. Then, for the first 5 to 10 minutes of driving, keep boost low. No hard acceleration. No highway on ramp launches. Gentle throttle inputs only. You're not just warming up the coolant, you're warming up the oil to the point where it flows properly through every passage in that turbo. I know it feels slow, but that discipline compounded over 100,000 miles is a massive reason my turbo is still alive. Heat soak and the shutdown mistake. This is the flip side of the cold start problem, and it's just as damaging. What you do when you shut the engine off matters enormously for turbo longevity. When you've been driving at highway speeds or you've been pushing the car hard, your turbo is running extremely hot. We're talking 1800 to 2000 degrees Fahrenheit inside that housing on a hard run. The oil flowing through the bearing is what keeps that heat from destroying everything. The moment you shut the engine off, the oil pump stops. Oil stops flowing, but the heat doesn't go anywhere immediately. It soaks into the turbo housing and cooks whatever oil is left in the bearing. That cooked oil turns to carbon. That carbon slowly clogs oil passages. And over time, your turbo bearing is running an increasingly restricted oil flow. This is called heat soak, and it's responsible for more premature turbo failures than people realize. The solution is what professional drivers call a cool-down idle. After any hard driving, I let my BMW idle for 2 to 3 minutes before shutting it off. Just sit in the driveway. Let the oil keep flowing through the turbo while the temperatures come down gradually. By the time I shut it off, the turbo has cooled significantly and the oil isn't getting baked. Some people install aftermarket turbo timers that keep the engine idling automatically after you remove the key. I've never felt the need. The habit is enough. But if you're the type who forgets, a turbo timer is a $100 investment that will pay for itself many times over. Boost leaks and why they silently kill engines. Here's a failure mode that's completely unique to turbocharged engines and almost never gets caught until it's causing real damage. Boost leaks. Your turbo pressurizes the intake system. That pressurized air travels through intercooler pipes, couplers, and hoses before it reaches your engine. Every single one of those connections is a potential leak point. And because turbocharged BMW engines run significant boost pressure, anywhere from 8 to 20 psi depending on the model, small cracks or loose clamps bleed that pressure constantly. A boost leak makes your engine work harder to compensate. The turbo spins more to try to maintain target boost. The engine management system pulls timing. Fuel trims go rich or lean, and the whole system operates under more stress than it was designed for. The scary part is that a small boost leak doesn't feel like much. Maybe a tiny power loss, maybe slightly worse fuel economy. Most people never notice until the problem has been going on for thousands of miles. Every 30,000 miles, I do a simple boost leak test. You can buy a pressure testing kit for about $30, or make one yourself. You pressurize the intake system with the engine off and listen for leaks, hissing sounds, or you can use soapy water on every coupler and connection to watch for bubbles. It takes about 20 minutes, and it's caught 2 developing leaks on my car before they became real problems. The fuel system connection. This one surprised me when I first learned it. Your turbo's longevity is directly connected to your fuel system health, specifically your high-pressure fuel pump and injectors. BMW direct injection turbos run extremely precise fuel delivery. The high-pressure fuel pump on engines like the N54, N55, and B58 operates at up to 200 bar of fuel pressure. When that pump starts to wear, fuel delivery becomes inconsistent. The engine management system compensates by adjusting timing and boost. And that inconsistency puts uneven thermal load on your turbo. Beyond the pump, dirty injectors create uneven combustion. One cylinder runs slightly lean, another slightly rich. The exhaust gas temperatures feeding your turbo become inconsistent. Some pulses hotter than others. Over time, that thermal cycling stresses the turbo's internal components. My approach is to run a quality fuel injector cleaner through a full tank every 15,000 miles. Not the cheap stuff, a proper high-concentration cleaner. And I have my injectors professionally cleaned or tested around 80,000 to 100,000 miles. It's not a huge expense, and the payoff in consistent combustion, and by extension, consistent turbo temps, is real. Here's what I want you to take away from this. BMW turbo engines don't fail randomly. They fail for specific predictable reasons. The turbo oil feed line, the cold start window, heat soak on shutdown, boost leaks, fuel system consistency. These are the things that separate a turbo that lasts 80,000 miles from one that's still running strong at 300,000. None of this is complicated. None of it is particularly expensive relative to what you'll spend replacing a turbo or rebuilding an engine. It just requires paying attention to things most owners never think about. I've driven my BMW to 300,000 miles on the original turbo because I understood these failure points early, and I was disciplined about preventing them. You can do the same thing. Drop a comment below. What BMW are you driving, and what mileage are you at? I want to hear from you. Hit the like button if this helped. Subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you in the next one.